Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Day in the Life of a Technician with sigmaGO and Excalibur Data Systems. My name is Tabitha Ishman, and I'm the Marketing Manager at Excalibur Data Systems. And before we get started, we just wanted to share a few webinar logistics with you. So this webinar is being recorded, and the lines have been muted. The recording will be sent via email to all participants tomorrow, and we'll answer questions at the end in a Q&A session. But you can ask questions at any time during the presentation just by typing them into the chat window. So a little bit about Excalibur Data Systems is that we are a boutique integrator of ITSM and enterprise service management solutions. We were founded in 1998 and have been evolving and growing our services ever since. We do have two headquarters, one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the other in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. We work with long-term strategic partners to achieve the best outcome for our customers' needs, and that's why we're very excited and proud to be collaborating with sigmaGO, who offers a refreshed mobile app experience for Cherwell Service Management, which will enable your mobile workforce to reach new levels of productivity. So here I will hand it over to Mike Fuson, VP and Senior Solution Architect at Excalibur Data Systems.
Thank you, Tabitha. Hello, everyone. Mike Fuson here from Excalibur, along with my friend Anthony D'Ambrosio from sigmaGO. Excalibur is very excited to be partnered with sigmaGO and being able to mobilize your workforce and your customers, for that matter, with the sigmaGO platform and leveraging Cherwell as the core platform. It's extending this out into the mobile space. So what Anthony and I talked about for this particular webinar, rather than this being a pure demo, here's what the product does, here's how it does it, we've got this more in a little bit of a play acting format, where we're going to try to walk through a day in the life of a technician, and for that matter, also a customer, and how they might best leverage the sigmaGO platform and get the most out of the mobile experience. So Tabitha, I think one of the first things we have is a poll for the folks that are on with us. And what we're going to be asking you have that poll ready, Tabitha? You know, are any of you presently using a mobile solution for Cherwell? Now that could be you're currently a sigmaGO customer, perhaps you're using the adaptive forms within Cherwell or another mobile technology with your Cherwell platform. We're just a little curious if any of you are doing that today. So we'll give everybody a moment here to select an answer, and then we'll close the poll out and we'll get started.
We'll go ahead and close the poll now.
So nobody's using a mobile solution just yet. All right, exciting. That's what Anthony loves to hear, because we're going to show you a very exciting mobile solution for Cherwell. So Tabitha, if you could turn it over to me, I'm going to kind of get us started. And all of you are going to see a screen that so many of you are going to be familiar with. It's Cherwell. So within are we able to see, Tabitha? Is it broadcasting okay?
Yes, we can see your
Excellent.
screen.
So we all see our Cherwell dashboard. So what is leveraging the mobile platform going to look like? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to be a service desk technician. So Mike, your friendly service desk technician, is going to be taking a call, and I get a call from my friend Sridhar Reddy, and Sridhar says, "Hey Mike, you know my keyboard's not working." So what are we going to do? We're going to start to collect the information on this incident, right? So we have a keyboard issue. And keyboard doesn't seem to be functioning. And I'm going to go ahead and classify this. So this is a desktop issue. And we'll put it in here as a submit incident. And I may put some additional notes in here as I'm working through this to take ownership of it. Go ahead and start working through it. and say, keyboard likely needs to be replaced. And I've probably taken Sridhar through some different troubleshooting steps and what should I be doing there. If I'm doing the right things, I'm putting in some notes, right, to let other folks know that are looking at this what we've done. So we've tried unplugging and replugging in the keyboard. And we also did a reboot, and keyboard's still not working. So this is going to let my technicians know, hey, what's going on. Now, I'm going to go ahead and send this out now. In this case, I'm going to send it to first level support. That's our team that's going to dispatch someone out. Don't forget to set a priority, and we'll save that out. Now, I've completed this record, but one of the situations that we're looking at is that for many of our customers that we see out there, it may be a large building that you're in, or you may be in multiple buildings. And so a technician may need to be dispatched from one location to another in order to affect a fix. So we're kind of going to play that scenario. Let's say we're a healthcare system, and so we're at the office building, but we've got to dispatch a technician out to one of our clinical facilities to take a look at this keyboard issue and get something back up and running. And we know this is an important issue because this may be, say, one of our carts. So we can't have too many of those down, especially in the fun world we live in now. And so I want to make sure that I'm able to put a comment out to our customer. We're going to see how this works within the mobile platform to let them know that a technician will be in contact shortly. And so now I've dispatched this out, and our technician, Anthony, is going to be able to pick this up. So I'm going to turn it over to Anthony, and we're going to show you as a mobile technician, and also as a customer leveraging mobile, what you're able to do with the sigmaGO platform.
And thank you, Mike, and thank you for giving us. Thank you, Mike, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this joint presentation with you. So as Mike explained, as a mobile technician, I'm able to update tickets, create tickets on our mobile app from anywhere at any time. So Mike created a ticket for first level support. So as an IT technician belonging to that first level support team, I can open up a team queue, and I can see the tickets that have been created. Now I can see ticket number 4273 has been created for Sridhar, and I'm able to see all of the details. I can see the requester, I can see the description, and so on. Okay. A couple of things I can do is I can go into technician notes, and I'll look at what Mike has done within what he's done and the journal notes that he's added. Now knowing that he's tried to unplug the keyboard, replug it, do a reboot of the computer, and it didn't resolve the issue, I'm going to go ahead and replace the keyboard. So what can I do as a mobile technician? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take ownership. So I'm going to, next to assign to, I'm going to click on assign, and I'm simply going to do is take ownership. And it's automatically going to populate my information. I'm going to take ownership. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to send a message over to the customer. And as you can see, Mike has stated to the end user, Sridhar, that a technician will be there shortly. What's great about our platform is, if you'll notice at the top of my screen, I got some push notifications. So Sridhar, as a customer, will know that a technician's on their way, and he'll be able to see those notes. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the user know that I'm at your desk. Keyboard. Okay. So I'll let the end user know that I'm at the desk. I'm replacing the keyboard. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to update the technician notes. I'm going to state that, keyboard is defective and will replace with new. Okay. what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take a picture. So I'm going to click Add Attachment, take a photo, and I'm going to take a picture of the exact keyboard I replaced it with, model number, serial number, and so on. And I'm going to give it a unique file name, so I'm going to say replacement keyboard. And as I've gone through that entire exercise, all this information has been updated in Cherwell in real time. We leverage the REST API to send information back and forth, which allows for a very streamlined, user-friendly experience, and also allows for instantaneous updates of all the information between Cherwell and the mobile app. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and resolve this ticket. I'm just going to put in the resolution notes, replaced keyboard. Okay. So now that I've completed this ticket, it's left the queue, and I've done everything as a mobile technician without having to open up a laptop and log in or going over to a shared workstation, which has been really key lately for most of our customers who have been worried about COVID, with users using shared workstations that they ticket. Now you can do it all from a single device and have all the additional functionality. Now, I'm going to give it back to Mike, and he's going to show how the information is reflected within the Cherwell Rich client.
So here we are back in Cherwell, and if I were to go to that newest record that's out here, you'll note that I haven't really had to touch anything. However, it now has a new owner. The ticket's been resolved, and I can look at any tasks that may have been created, customer comments. So Anthony obviously was at his desk. Keyboard was defective, and he'll replace with a new one. And I have the picture in here that goes with this workflow. So we have full visibility into that. All of that was done from a mobile device. And as Anthony noted, one of the issues we're hearing very, very loudly from a lot of customers is how do we minimize that touch point in touching other devices and keeping it down to a particular device. Most of us run around with our cell phones on us all day long. This could also be done from a tablet as well, but it gives us that full mobile capability for a technician to be able to easily move around. So we're going to throw it back to Anthony here. And Anthony's going to show us kind of another scenario, and I'll set that up a little bit where, I know this never happens to any of you guys, but as soon as all of us that have been, maybe hardware techs, as soon as you pop up from under the desk, plugging something back in or replacing something, somebody grabs you in the hall and says, hey, since you're here, can you take a look at this? So we're going to say that our friend Sridhar also says, hey, while you're here, can you look at my printer? My printer seems to be having an issue. So Anthony, what are a couple of ways we may be able to deal with that leveraging sigmaGO?
Sure, thank you, Mike. So the first demonstration was to show you how you would go about updating a ticket that's already been created within Cherwell. Here what we're going to do is we're going to create a ticket. Now there's two different ways you're going to do it. You can have the end user create the ticket on the mobile app, or as a technician, I can create it on behalf of the end user. So what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to start the process a little bit different. I'm going to have Sridhar's going to walk me over to his printer, and on the printer we have a barcode where I can look up that asset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my barcode scanner. I'm going to scan the sample barcode. What you'll notice, it brings up all the CI details for this printer. I can see who it's assigned to, its status is active, primary user, and so on. Now, there's a couple things I can do here. The first thing I can do is I can create a ticket. Okay? I can also update the status as well. So because I'm not a printer person, what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to create a ticket for Sridhar for someone else to work on the ticket. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say that the printer is no longer working. So I'm quickly going to do is I'm going to change the status of this asset, and I'm going to say it's down. Okay? That has been sent right back to Cherwell, and the status has been updated from an active status to a down status. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a ticket. Okay? what you'll notice is it's already created the relationship between the configuration item and the incident ticket, as noted in that yellow bar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look up Sridhar, and as I type his name, we have type ahead searching. Okay. I'm just going to pick Andrew Sims as the user. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to select as a printing issue, network, and submit incident. Select that. Now that I've classified the ticket, based on the service portfolio default assignment, it's been assigned to first level support. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the specific details, okay? And this is going to be tied to your specific forms within Cherwell. So now I can choose the printer information, and I'm going to say it's a 2740. It's a scanner printer, and I'm going to say it's broken. Okay. And this is some of the sample fields that you can put on your specific forms. Okay. I'll select the priority because it's a network printer. I'm going to say the impact is for the department, and it's a high priority. So impact plus urgency equals priority 2. Okay. I'm going to say is network printer is down. Please assign tech to resolve. Okay. What I can also do is I can actually take a picture of my printer that I'm having an issue with and add that to the ticket. And I'll just say we'll call it this printer. Okay. Now I've completed all the details fairly quickly, and now I'm just going to click submit. Now what's going to happen is it's all going to get sent back to Cherwell. Cherwell is going to do all the processing, and it's automatically going to give me a ticket number, and it's ticket number 4274. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to give it back to Mike, and he's going to show you how the ticket was created within Cherwell.
All right, so going back home here, if we go and take a look at the current items that are out there, you'll see this new record that was created. And this is everything that Anthony, as you saw, was filling in. If he had put any technician notes in there, I'd see those. You know, all of the journals are firing, as you see from this, as this has sent out some emails and done some different things. So all of the things that we're expecting Cherwell to do are happening, but the technician was able to do this immediately from the field. Now, Anthony, what if Sridhar wanted to put that in himself? As a customer, does he have the ability to create his own record through a mobile app?
Yes, he does, and I can demonstrate that as well.
Great, let's take a look at that. So not only do we have a technician application that is available, we also have a mobile customer application. And as Anthony showed in the very, very beginning, that includes many of the same features that you saw in the technician application of it having the ability to receive push notifications. So they might receive that notice that Anthony sent, hey, I'm at your desk and I'm already working. They would have gotten that as a pop-up on their mobile device. There's the surveys, statuses have changed, all kinds of wonderful stuff.
All right.
But Sridhar wants to put in his, so now he broke his mouse. Sridhar is apparently very, very hard on equipment. So now he's broken his mouse. How might he request help with his mouse?
Sure. So this time around, I asked Sridhar, can you create the ticket on your own? Now, the first experience is as a technician. Technician has the ability to populate more information. But what we've done in the mobile app is we replicated what most customers are used to in a self-service experience. So they just have to give a very minimal amount of information for a ticket to get created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Create Ticket as Sridhar, and all I need to do is classify it. I don't need to fill in all the other details. all the information provided from the service portfolio, we'll fill that in on the back end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say is, he's having a desktop management issue. It's a computer issue. Submit an incident. I'm going to select that. And then again, specifics forms. Now earlier we did a printer. Now this time we're doing a mouse issue, and the specific details can vary depending on the type of form you've built out. So I'm going to say is broken mouse. Okay. This is, need to replace another device. Okay. Please help me again. Okay. And we're going to submit that. Now another ticket's been created and it's been sent back to Cherwell. Okay. Okay. So Mike, do you want to show that? Before you do that, you'll notice that there was a pop-up notification letting you know that a ticket has been created. So you'll see that since this is a native app, we do support native push notifications. So I'm able to even see that the ticket was created. Okay.
That's fantastic. Yeah, why don't we take a look and let's see. It's going to look very similar to what we just saw within Cherwell. So Tabitha, if you could flip it back over to me, that would be fantastic. So here we go. It's come into the service desk, desktop management, computer, submit incident. Please help me again. Need to replace another device. It's a broken mouse. So he's been able to tell us anything he needs to know. And if he were to have added any comments through the mobile app, etc., those would all show up here. But this now comes into our queue, and we can begin working this and potentially dispatching Anthony back out there with another new piece of hardware for Sridhar. But Anthony, there's a whole bunch of other things that we can do as customers with the customer app, isn't there?
Oh, there's tons of things we can do. We're going to focus on a couple of things, such as completing surveys and completing approvals.
Yeah, two key things. Well, one of the things Anthony and I talked about, we hear from clients from time to time, folks that are doing approvals, as an example, or potentially responding to surveys. Maybe they take public transportation to work, or they're in and out of meetings all of the time, so they aren't always able to respond to things as quickly on their laptops, whereas on their mobile device moving between meetings, they may be able to take some actions, or perhaps they're I know this has never happened in any of my clients' locations, but I've on occasion been to a location where we have to wait for the previous group to vacate the conference room. And everybody's kind of madly looking at their mobile device, seeing, hey, what all came in? Is there anything else I need to desperately address before we jump into our next meeting? So having the mobile capabilities is going to give us the ability to do those kind of things. So Anthony, you said we can approve things, we can look at surveys as two examples. Let's take a look at how that works.
Sure. So you notice on my navigation bar, there's pending approvals, and it's in red with the number 8. Okay. So as the end user, if I'm a CAB member on the change advisory board, I can approve a change request. If I'm a manager and I have people that report to me, say someone requested a new printer or requested access or something of that nature, I can approve those as well. And if I'm a knowledge approver, I can approve knowledge management. And in this, and also in this, we've also built in timesheet approvals. So if you're doing time approval within Cherwell, you can even approve weekly time, as noticed in the different approvals that are here as examples. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this change request. And what's going to happen is it's going to bring up the change, and it's going to show all the change details and all of the approval details. Okay. If I click on this incident, I'm able to see all the incident details and the approval details. Now, one of the key things about the mobile app is some organizations, because some of the data is very sensitive, are not able to send out all the approval information that is required for someone to make a decision in an email. So they have to go to an area where it's secured and viewable where it's not stored in someone's email address, email account. With the mobile app, it's one step. Open the app, view your approvals, go through all your approvals and complete them. You don't need to send someone an email who then has to go to a self-service portal to get the additional details, browse through it, and then complete an approval. So it's very easy to do it through the mobile app. And if I want to approve this request or deny it, I simply click on approve. I give a reason. And if I want to deny it, I can do the same and give a reason. Okay? So that's one of the things that makes the mobile app very powerful, in addition to the fact that when you send an email approval, which is typical of Cherwell users, is that sometimes those approvals get lost, they get overlooked, or someone's going to take care of it later, and then they end up getting delayed. Here, you're able to send a push notification every time a new approval's been assigned to a user, so they get an immediate notification. And if they click on that notification, it'll bring them right to the approval. And also, if they wanted to view a list of all their open approvals, they can simply just click on it. Okay? Another great thing is customer satisfaction surveys, right? Most surveys get sent via an email. People forget about them, or they'll do them later. Here, they can come in and see all their open surveys. Okay? So I just logged a keyboard issue moments ago. So I resolved it, and then it generated a survey. So from here, I can say I can rate the time limits of the service, and so on. Now, these questions are configurable based on your type of survey questions and your format. So it could be reference lists, smiley faces, it could be whatever you want. So I'm going to say this service was, great, except as a whole, I wasn't really impressed. I'm going to say, great service. And now I can go and submit that survey. And I can see I have a whole bunch of other surveys I can still complete. Now, there's one other key thing I can do here as well. We create self-service portals or customer self-service portals so that people can search knowledge for self-help. You can also do that within the mobile app. So if I click on knowledge search here at the top, I'm able to quickly search. So for that printer issue I had earlier, I can search it and see what articles are relevant. And I bring up this sample article. Now, we support pinch and zoom, so I can zoom in into the text if it's too small, right? And we also support Word documents, PowerPoint, PDFs, images, text files, and so on. So if a user wants to see what's in the PDF, they can click on it, and it automatically brings up the PDF, and they can also download this to their phone. So we've given the user a lot of power just within their hands. So they can quickly search knowledge, look at articles, create tickets, look at the status of their tickets, complete approvals, complete surveys, and so on. And if they need additional functionality, we can easily turn that on within the mobile app. All right, and a couple other things too. So system alerts. So if a customer wants to see what's going on, if you notice across the top, there's a scrolling marquee. If I click on system alerts or I click on the scrolling marquee, I can see what problems are going on in the environment. So I can see right now with the new version of iOS 13, there's some issues, and here's some upgrade instructions on how to upgrade your device. Or if you're not able to connect to a server, I can click on this particular problem, and if it affects me too, I can click affect me too. It automatically opens up the details that need to be completed, pre-populates it with the service portfolio item, the subject, and now all I need to do is just enter the description, click submit, and now I've created an incident for myself and associated it to that problem. So when that problem gets resolved, I can get notification that it's been resolved, or if there's anything that has to be done in the future, someone can reach out to me directly to let me know that I need to apply a patch or do something to resolve my issue. All right, back to you, Mike.
So, talking about other things that we might be leveraging our mobile platform for, kind of that same scenario where somebody's headed home on public transportation, or they want to get a quick update, but they're a technical manager. So they manage, say, one of the departments within our IT department. They may be the server manager or the desktop team manager. They can also leverage the mobile experience to see what's going on within their team as a manager. And also do many of the same things, like dealing with approvals and everything that may come from a technician perspective, right?
That is correct.
So they're able to see what's going on within their team and be able to manage it. But one of the other examples that we talked a little bit about, that's kind of an interesting sort of scenario. I'm the service desk manager, and I get a call from someone up in senior management that says, "Hey, one of our other offices is having a major issue, and we need to get it resolved because whatever it is that they're doing is due tomorrow by 10 o'clock in the morning, and I need you to get some team members on it." Well, we've already perhaps ramped down service desk operations. We're taking tickets, but we're not dispatching things. But I know that Anthony is a manager over in that near that location, and I may reach out to Anthony and say, "Hey, here's what's going on. Can you help me out?" So now, Anthony, if I ask you to help me out, what does sigmaGO give us the ability to do?
Sure. We actually have a lot of power in the mobile platform. So let's take an example, right? So as Mike explained, as a manager, we have a high priority issue, and it's been assigned to my team. So now I need to find a technician that's available to address this issue. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on My Team Tickets. And there's a couple things I can do. Right now it's showing all the tickets. If I click on the filter, I could say all unassigned tickets, and I can see the tickets that are currently in the queue that no one's taken ownership. Now you notice there's some color coding going on over here. So green means it's a lower priority, yellow is a higher priority, and red is priority 1. So if I click on network is down, right, I'm able to see the issues. I can see no one owns it. Now there's a couple things that I can do from here. I can go and click on our text on the go feature. And what that will do is it'll give me a list of currently logged in technicians. And then if I want to determine who's closest, I'm going to click on the map. So this ticket happens to be raised in the San Francisco area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out on the map a little bit. I'm able to see that there's 2 technicians currently logged in. And I would try to figure out which one's closest based on the location of that ticket when I looked at its details. So I'm going to click on the user here. And I'm able to see this technician is logged in and he's the closest to this issue. A couple things I could do. I can automatically assign a ticket, or I can reach out to the technician and say, "Hey, I need you to go over to this location. We have a priority 1 issue." I'm going to click on the technician. It's going to bring up his details. I'm going to click on his phone number, and I'm quickly going to give him a call. If you notice, I don't have to copy and paste a single detail, all clicks. So I'm able to do everything within the app. Okay, I can quickly call him. He says, "Great, I can leave in 5 minutes." Now I can go back to that ticket, either by going to all tickets, or if there wasn't a ticket created, I can create a ticket right from his record, or I can go back into the My Team's tickets, click on that network is down, and I can assign it to him. And then I can just pick a user. And here I'm just going to pick a random technician. Okay. And I'm going to update it. So now I've assigned that ticket out to a technician, and that technician is going to be responsible for addressing this issue. Now I could do that for tasks as well. So I can look at my team's tasks. I can see if there's any open tasks that need attention. I can look and see how many are unassigned. And I can go through it and assign all these as the manager of the queue to make sure that things are moving forward if people aren't taking ownership right away, to make sure I'm not breaching any SLAs, and so on. Okay. As a manager, I can do approvals as well. Okay, so here's some examples of a change approval. The same thing you saw in the end user app. Okay, I'm able to see all the details. I can approve it. Okay. And also, as a technician, if I need to see any tickets within my proximity, I can click on nearby ticket. And what that'll do is it'll bring any tickets up within my proximity. So everything within a tenth of a mile of this location, I can take a look at, and I can either maybe go visit the user, or I can assign it out to another technician. And I can also click on a pin map, and I can see all the issues in a pin format versus a list format as well.
Yeah, that nearby tickets, Anthony, might have been, in our original scenario, you're at that facility, and before you leave that facility, you want to take a look at, is there anything else nearby that I can affect before I leave? Would be another use case example of ways to leverage that.
That is correct, yes.
Excellent, excellent. So we're able to do all these wonderful things with our mobile apps, both our technician mobile application and our customer mobile application. What about integrations? What if I have integrations to certain platforms? Can integrations be done with sigmaGO?
Oh, yes, definitely. So we actually built in an integration right now with this latest release that's coming out. There'll be an integration to come around. We also have some other integrations pending, such as a chatbot within the mobile app and also system management tools. One of our premier partners called Fixsense has the ability to do remote control, patch management, remote inventory. You'll be able to do all of that from a mobile device. So let me quickly show you an integration with come around. So underneath my picture, you're going to see this little star. I'm going to click on that. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to open up the come around integration. Now, come around is a knowledge broker. So they provide a knowledge platform with pre-canned articles. So I can click on, say, the most popular articles. And it's going to bring up a list. I can click on one of the articles. And right within the article, I can see all of the details for that article. I'm able to see all the details for that article. And what's really cool about our platform is that I can even play an embedded video within that knowledge article. So you don't necessarily have to attach a document, but within the mobile app, I can actually play a video right within the knowledge article. I can also create a ticket from this knowledge article, and I can say, was it helpful? If I say it's helpful, I can click yes. It'll provide that this article was helpful. It'll move it up in its ranking. And if I click no, I could provide some feedback to improve this article as well, all within the mobile app.
So there's the ability to integrate with other things. Can the mobile platform be used to do other custom things we might have done with our Cherwell platform?
Yeah, so there's some users that are actually leveraging the facilities management module provided by Cherwell. So what we've done is we went and we built out a mobile experience for that as well, in addition to some custom business objects, which I can show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply log out as Anthony D'Ambrosio IT user, and I'm going to log in as Anthony D'Ambrosio facilities user. And what you'll notice is my navigation structure is going to change from tickets to work orders. Let me log out. And just one other thing to note on integrations, we do actually have SAML integration as well. So we support Okta, F5, Microsoft ADFS. So we can support all these SAML providers as well for logging in. Okay. So I'm going to change my user to Anthony Facilities. And if you notice, the speed in which I'm able to change from user to user is really quick. The app is extremely responsive when it comes to rendering your experience. Okay. So now as a facilities technician.
On that note though, Anthony, before we dive into it, on that note, while we may be seeing a very minimal lag here, it's due to the screen sharing capabilities from a platform perspective. When you have this in your hand and playing with it, it's super fast. It's pretty zippy on the screen as it is, but it's even faster in real time. So please carry on.
All right, thank you, Mike. So now you'll notice everything's about work orders. So when I click create work order, instead of getting an incident ticket, I get a facilities work order ticket. So we can support other experiences. So if you're using HR, ISMS, or even if you built a custom business object. Now, one of the things we've done in conjunction with Excalibur is we actually built out a custom business object with them. So they're building out something called the Booker app. And this is a conference room booking app. So when I click on the booking app, what it's going to do is it's going to bring me to a totally different experience based on a custom business object created by Excalibur data system. Okay? All right. So when this finishes loading, you're going to see a calendar view, the ability to see open conference rooms, and other details of that nature. So I can book a room, I can look at my bookings, and I can get a bunch of details as well. Completely different experience. So any of your needs, any needs that you have for a mobile experience with Cherwell, we can easily meet for you, whether it be an out-of-the-box business object, such as incident prompt change, an ESM module, such as human resources, facilities, ISMS, or even something that you've built on your own. We can pretty much mobilize anything and build processes within a mobile interface.
And for those of you that are sitting out there going, the Booker map, what the heck is Anthony talking about? You're going to be hearing more about that very, very shortly. We've actually built a conference room booking functionality for Cherwell, and we've been working very closely with sigmaGO to not only mobilize this, but we're also kind of envisioning this being able to work where you might have a tablet at the conference room, kind of like the real expensive systems. I was looking at pricing on those, and a single device is $1,400 just for the device, and a license for the software that back ends it. You'd be able to actually manage all of this within Cherwell, and we're thinking about a way to have that show up on that mobile device, so you know, a small tablet right at the conference room, kind of being able to do that same sort of functionality, but you're using Cherwell as your central platform, because we already have the whole Booker structure in place. So look on for more to come on that, but this is a great example of something that's very custom built for Cherwell, leveraging the Cherwell platform that's been mobilized by the capabilities of sigmaGO. Very, very exciting stuff. So Tabitha, do we have, I think we can open it up to some questions. I think we have a few preliminary questions that are out there.
Yes, we do, and we did have a few come in. Before we hop to that, I am going to put out one more poll just to make sure that everybody on the line is still awake. We'll just give that a few more seconds. All right, so everybody does see value in this. So this is exciting.
Woo! So we like to hear. It's a pretty exciting thing.
So for one of the questions that did come in, Anthony, so we are a healthcare customer and we are on-prem. What options do we have to deploy this app?
Oh, thank you. And that's a really good question. So based on how we built out the framework, we can support whether you're a Cherwell hosted customer, or if you're hosted by Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, or any other third-party provider. In addition, we also support on-premise customers. And if your Cherwell instance is behind a firewall, we support that as well. And when we provide the APKs and IPAs to you, you have the option to either place them in the stores for download, or you can deploy them via an MDM solution. So our platform is pretty dynamic, and it's able to support all the different types of environments. In addition, we support all the different ways of delivering these apps to your end users.
Thank you. Another question that came in was, what capabilities does the barcode scanning feature offer?
I apologize. Can you repeat that question one more time?
Yeah, what capabilities does the barcode scanning feature offer?
Oh, that's another great question. So the barcode feature allows you to scan a barcode and bring up a relevant CI, such as a printer, computer, server. But it also gives the ability for someone who works, say, in the receiving department to check in devices. So say I've got a whole shipment of laptops and phones. What I can do as the person receiving is I can click on the barcode scanner. And when I click on it, you're going to notice that there is a check-in process at the bottom. When I click on that, Now what I'm doing is I'm just going to scan some sample barcodes. And what it's going to do is it's going to add those items to a list. And I'm going to click check in. Okay. And basically what has happened here, when I click the check in, is it's going to change the status from, say, ordered or in shipping to in stock or delivered, or whatever that status would be for your process. So you have the ability for someone to quickly scan barcodes and check in devices into inventory. So it eliminates the need for those third-party barcode scanners. You can actually leverage your phone and get all these assets updated within Cherwell. So we've worked on streamlining the process for managing your CMDB and assets that are contained within the CMDB.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And I think just maybe to reiterate, we did have a question come in about integrating with third-party solutions. So I know that you hit on ComAround and then some upcoming solutions that you plan to integrate with. So maybe you could just speak to that a little bit more.
Sure. Within our roadmap, we plan to integrate some additional providers and third-party solutions. They'll be provided out of the box. So right now we have ComAround as our initial integration partner, but we do have some others. You know, as I mentioned, the chatbot functionality, so people will be able to chat. We do have integration with third parties, with SAML providers, as I mentioned earlier. But we will be building out integration for SixSense, which will allow remote control right from the mobile app, or patch management right from the mobile app. And we're looking at other system management tools and other types of functionality we can integrate. Now, if you have an integration that you would like to have within the mobile app, we can work with you to get that built out into the mobile app, as long as they provide an API integration.
Thank you. And then I know you might have to switch over. So do you offer an offline mode with sigmaGO?
Yes, we do. Just switching over to that now. Oops. Typed in the wrong username. All right. So offline mode. So when I click on the settings option here, you're going to see a couple different options in here. Just quickly to cover those before I jump in. So we provide multi-language support. So no matter what language your user is using, whether it be English, French, German, Danish, Portuguese, we support multi-language. And then if a user wants to switch to offline, all they need to do is click on this offline option, click yes. What it's going to do is it's going to download the key data that you need to have an offline experience. So we do have some customers that have remote sites where Wi-Fi and internet access is not readily available. So it allows the technician to download all the supporting information to create multiple tickets and cache them within the device. And it also gives them the ability to work through their workload, whether it be tickets or tasks or facilities management work orders, whatever it may be. And as you can see, we've quickly downloaded all the data that we need. And I switched to an offline mode. Okay. And now what's going to happen is I'm just going to have the features that are available within offline mode. Now, all this data has been downloaded to a secure database that's encrypted. And this is the only time we actually cache data to your device. Throughout the presentation, everything's been happening in real time to a hosted instance of Cherwell in Azure. So we didn't cache anything. Everything was going back and forth. Now I've actually cached data. And if the user doesn't go back online within, say, 48 hours, which is our default setting, which can be adjusted to an earlier or an extended time, the data will automatically be purged from the encrypted database. And when they do go back online, it's going to sync everything up to Cherwell automatically. Now, one of the cool things about offline mode is that it doesn't require a license. So when I was logged into Cherwell, I was using a license. And through the offline mode process, it downloads the data and logs me out to free up that concurrent license within Cherwell. Now, when I go back online, I click online. Now, if you notice, it's fingerprint. So we support both Face ID and Touch ID. I'm simply going to use my fingerprint. I'm going to log back in. Data's been synced automatically. And now I'm just going to log back in. And any tickets that I've created or I've updated have now been uploaded to Cherwell.
Thank you, Anthony. So at this point, I'm just going to ask again if there's any other questions from the audience. And then also, if you had a longer question or maybe a different use case, if you raise your hand, I can unmute you. So we'll give a couple seconds and see if anybody is interested. Mike, I think everyone's too shy to raise their hand and come on.
Everyone's shy. Well, there's one person I know who's not shy, who's typed his name in all capital letters. And I know he's not shy at all, but he's being demure, is what we'll say. Mr. Stegeman, I'm talking about you. But we want to thank all of you for joining us today. We're very excited about the capabilities that sigmaGO brings to our customers and to the Cherwell customers at large in being able to mobilize your Cherwell platform, both for your technicians and your customers. As Tabitha noted, we'll make sure that you have a link to this webinar so it can be shared with other folks internally. You may want to have watch it. It'll also be posted to our YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. We thank you all for joining us today, and we wish you all a very happy and pleasant weekend here in July. Have a great day, everyone.